How's it going, everyone? I'm going to do a little unboxing of the Hypertough HT charger, fast charger. And you might notice my little setup is a little weird right now, because right now we're trying to, remodel my place. We're just needing to do the floor. As you can see, I got the floor ready. It's almost done. We got it all set up. Just need to add the trim, and that's it. So yeah, this is just ready to be just put new flooring here. And it'll be basically ready to move in. I still need to buy like some furniture. I do have some, but I need to buy a new bed and everything. Yep, so I'm almost ready to move in. Just need to put the floor. Right now I'm just taking a little break after painting. Why not? And I went to purchase this at Walmart. This Hypertough, fast charger. It's for 20 volt max batteries. This guy goes for $20 at Walmart. It has a 1 hour charge time with it says here, 1 hour charge time with a 20 volt max, 1.5 or 2 amp hour battery. So that is pretty good. But that's just 1 hour just for a 1.5 or 2 amp hour battery. So if you got a 4 amp hour battery or higher, it's a little different. And they have remodeled this one. This is the 2024 version. They had a previous version, but they changed it to this one. So yeah, they just remade it in brand new. So here's the rated voltage, 120 volts, 60 hertz. Input power, 65 watts. Output, 21 volt DC, 2.4 amp hour. Product weight, almost a pound. Let's see, what else do we got? It just says an LCD display. That's pretty much it. And all their other things like a leaf blower, lawnmowers. And next video will be an interesting video if you want to watch. This is, this week. It's just a little update. And, I will give a little information of batteries, like tool batteries, in case, you do have a battery. I do know people say Hypertough batteries aren't the best. I do not know if that is true. I do have one, a 2 amp hour battery. That's it. I never had a 4 amp, and I will be buying a 4 amp and a 6 amp to see how that works out. But I bought this, because I have a little fan, and I like to have, little fans when I'm working. Stay fresh and cool, So, yeah, for $20 for the charger, looks good so far. So, don't know how much for like a 4 amp hour battery, maybe 3 hours, 4 hours maybe, I'm guessing. Just to charge a 4 amp hour battery. But $20 ain't bad in my opinion if you're in the, entering the Hypertough lineup. Which I am entering. I mean, I'm in it, but not completely in. I do want to buy their drills, since their new drills are brushless now. And I know some of their batteries, Hypertough, they have this little, a USB port so you can charge your phone or tablet, in case one day, like, the electricity goes out. As long as those batteries are charged, you got power, which is a pretty cool idea. I like how they did that. I wish all power tools had that option, where you have a little, where you can plug in a USB to use it. It does kind of make it like in case you do work, some places where there's a little bit of water included and the battery has that kind of option. It is kind of dangerous. You can get it wet and destroy the battery. But nobody uses Hypertough like for professional use. It's mostly home rated, DIYers. In my opinion, Hypertough is like more of a DIYer tool than a professional, Unless like a professional buys it just to get through the job while, they get their drill repaired or buy a new one or something. So yeah. So we're going to open this guy up. $20 ain't bad, in my opinion. So I will have to get a box cutter, and I'll be back in a couple seconds. I was going to cut the tape, but instead I just peeled it off. So, since it was pretty easy. Let's see how it looks on the inside. Alright, so right off the bat, I'm seeing Hypertough. Let's see how this guy looks. Alright, there we are. Here is the charger. Pretty good little charger with the charging, power on, warning, and 100%. Okay, I'm wondering if there's a light or something. You can wall mount it if you want to, which I like that option. Class 2 battery charger. Let's see. And we all know if you do buy a tool from Hyper Tough, they give you those little cheap ass little chargers where it just slides on top of the battery. I don't like that, you know, unless you got a workbench and you got a lot of stuff there, that's fine to use. But some of us will like to have this option, you know, and it does have its own owner's manual, which is pretty cool. You know, LCD screen. The charging level shows 0. The battery pack and replaced by a new battery. After charging finish, and the charger level shows 100 on the pressing. Let's see. All right, so we'll just. I'm gonna put it on my little charging wall charger thing I got, a little tower I made, and we will see how it charges the battery. Which I do have battery, but it's not fully dead. So we'll see. So let me install this into my wall charger thing and then we'll see. Okay, so now I have set the little charger on a little charging station, you could say. So instead, we're gonna turn this on. All right, so, and this one doesn't say anything yet. So we're just gonna plug them in and we'll see what happens. There we go. That's all it does right now. 96%. That's pretty cool that it shows that much life. 97. I know this wasn't used that much, this battery. That's pretty cool how much percentage it tells me and everything. I'll be back here in a couple minutes after I let it charge. And it looks like, I don't know if there's a dead area right here or not, but yeah, I'll be back here in a bit. You know, so... yeah, we're gonna let that charge. Okay, so yeah, it fully charged the battery. It didn't take that long. So I took it out and it's just showing life. And then putting the battery back, it'll just start charging it up again. So yeah, it's a good charger. Pretty interesting. You know. So I do want to give a heads up. If you have a battery, any battery, you know, you can be from Hart, DeWalt, Milwaukee, Craftsman, Makita, any battery brand, doesn't matter which one. If you want to keep them to last as long as you can get the life out of them, this is what I would do. Some of us have garages, we leave the batteries in the garage. I would put the batteries in a climate control room. You know, that's the best option for the batteries, and they could give you more of a life. Because usually every battery, you buy any battery, it says 3-year limited warranty, 5-year limited warranty, but usually it's a 3-year. You know, so it's basically like a car battery. You know, you buy a battery, they give you a year or 3 years, you know. But if you keep, you know, take care of the batteries, keep it at room temperature, and use it when you need to, charge it up. Don't fully charge them up, by the way, you know, when you need to use them. But since these batteries are being used to rebuild my place and everything, you know, that's what usually I would do. You know, I would just, you know, keep an eye on that. There is one thing I'm noticing, and it kind of sucks that it's just sucking off of the life of the, you know, so once the battery's off, it just keeps on sucking the life out of it. I would probably just have, you know, plug it in and plug it off, you know, if you're not going to use it. Unless you don't care and you waste electricity, it doesn't really matter. Usually, since I have this power strip right here, and all it does is I just flick the button on and off. I will be upgrading this in the future, so I won't have to deal with that no more. But that is the best option for the batteries, in my opinion. Have them charged. Well, not fully charged, but some decent amount of charge. You know, use them a little bit, you know. So, you know, the batteries, you know, you leave it fully charged instead, it's very bad for the battery. Unless, you know, you're using it, or, you know, you have a project, you're going to charge up and use it again, that's fine. Just as I say, just keep it, you know, keep the batteries in a dry location, you know, temperature controlled, you know, everything. It should last you for a lot longer than what they warranty it for, you know. And also once the drill or whatever you're using, you know, once that drill doesn't want to go, or you notice how weak it is, take it off, charge it, slap a new one on that drill, and it should last a bit longer. You know, just so the battery doesn't, because you get to drain it to the floor and then charge it up again. You know, it's better to do that. So yeah, it's a pretty good charger. Would recommend it for $20. And if you're in the Hyper Tough line, this is perfect. And you know, if you get one of the cheap chargers, well, I do have one. I have to look first, so give me a sec. Okay, and so here I got that little charger I was talking about. As you can see, just plugs into the bottom of the battery and then just plugs in. This charger is better than that, what they give you for your grill or whatever from Hyper Tough. And I know Hyper Tough has like a lawnmower, and they give you the kind of exact same weightage. And I'm like, they could have at least provided something like this, you know, where you can mount it on the wall or have it on a bench or something. So whenever the battery dies, so like these batteries, they just come up, plug it up, you gotta charge up. Once it's finishing, you just take it, use it, dead, bring it back. You know, it's much better this way. Instead of coming all the way over here, say like the battery's dead. Let's move over real quick. Say like the battery's dead, it dies. This guy's plugged in, you know, plugged into the wall, you can say. And then you're just gonna come and just do this. And it's just a pain in the butt in my opinion. Instead of, you know, as I mentioned, come up, dead battery. Mount on the wall or bench. Bingo, done. Done. Okay, take it. You know, it's easier, it's faster, and you can grab your other battery that's charged. You know, grab the battery that's charged, put the dead one back on, and you're back at it again. It's much better than these other ones, because these other ones, man, they're just a pain in the butt. You know, but you know, and I will have there will be more videos of this here, of this little work stand. I still have to get a charging station mounting bracket for a Porter cable that's going to be going between these two. And then there's still a couple more drills that'll be going here. So, you know, just in case if anyone wants to know, I will be making more videos of this. There still will be a couple more drills coming in. You know, I have made some videos of their drills and other tools like Hercules, a few Hart ones. You know, I got some tools here and there. But yeah, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, that's what I'll be doing still. It's just right now I've kind of been concentrating more on other things than this, but I'll be back doing that here pretty soon, maybe near the end of the year. Alright, and there will be a video next week. It is Hyper Tough related. I'm not going to spill the beans right now what it is, but once you see that video, you'll find out. And then after that, it'll be another Hyper Tough video, and that'll be it for so far. We stuck with those 2 other videos of Hyper Tough. That's it. We got nothing else. And then maybe later I'll add something else. I do have some Hyper Tough videos, but not this one is an interesting one coming up next. Alright, well thanks for watching and have a good day. And in my opinion, it's worth it. And in case you do have a lawnmower, you know, Hyper Tough one, you don't use it a lot. I kind of would maybe upgrade to this one, but it's going to be like $40 for 2 of these. But, you know, you gotta buy batteries. The batteries are like $60 each one, so $120, $160 at the end, just to have 2 batteries, 2 chargers, you know, 4 amp hour batteries included, so you can keep on mowing if you have a mower. All right, well, thanks for watching and have a good day.